Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Growth Engine with Ryan and Trice, brought to you by Healthy Brands. Ryan, what is up? How are you?
I am doing great today.
Awesome.
So I've had a lot of stuff happening over the last week that's brought some topics to the forefront today. And I took lunch and listened to about an hour of Bill Burr comedy. And so I've got a little attitude with
I
my
like it.
talk
I
today.
like it.
So I might smart off a little bit.
I like it. I'll use this as prep. I'm going to Dave Chappelle this weekend. Bert
Oh,
Kreischer is next week. So I'm ready to really get some like good attitude throwdown. So
Dave is the
I'm into it.
best. He is the
Oh, he's the
best.
best. The best.
Yeah.
He's a master. Yeah. So I know we kind of talked around a topic, but it's kind of a mystery at the same time. You want to walk us through what you're thinking about today?
Yeah, so today's all about a pet peeve that I have with marketing agencies, and so I may get some smack talk back with this topic today. But so it's a big pet peeve I have, and it happens occasionally, and it just seems like it's happening more and more with the economy and inflation and whatnot. Like
Mm,
you know, and so so here's what the topic is about. So when a marketing agency is asking other marketing agencies how they get leads,
mm,
when a marketing agency is asking other professionals to help them get leads or to get them leads. And this isn't about all marketing agencies. This isn't about all kinds. I'm talking about the ones that sell services that are specific to getting traffic, leads, and business. And
mm.
most digital marketing agencies, to some degree, fall into that category. And so they go out and they sell this concept to these clients that they can generate leads and business for them, and they're
Yeah.
masters at it, and they're experts. And then as soon as they get behind closed doors, they're like, "Hey, we could use some other business. Like, what are we going to do to get some leads?" And as soon as it comes out of their mouth, I don't even think they hear it. I don't even think they understand what they just said. So here's how it usually comes out. I'll just tell you. Here's how it usually comes out. Um, who knows somebody who does bulk email? We would like to start generating leads for ourselves.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, you don't use bulk email for your clients, is my first thought. And the reason why you don't is because you know it doesn't work.
Right.
That's why you don't do it. Or maybe you don't do it in house. Maybe it's just not an expertise you have. Okay, I'll go with that for a
Yeah.
minute. But then let me throw the other stuff out. Who does SMS texting? Who does texting?
Oh yeah.
Who
Link building.
who does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who can do this is the big one now, appointment setters.
Oh yeah.
Who has worked
Yeah.
with a really good appointment setter? We need new leads and customers and business.
Yeah.
And I want to reach out and smack the agency owner right in the face. Why?
Do
Why
you?
does it bother me? Why does it bother me? And I tell you why. Because you are selling tens, 20s, 50s, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month of services that you're calling lead gen services, and those things don't work for you.
Yeah.
So why are you charging clients for that?
Do you really have clients that do this?
It's not just my clients, it's agencies everywhere
I,
are doing
I'm
this.
sure it is. I'm like I don't know that I've ever heard an agency. I mean, why would I?
My
Even when I was in an
clients, my
agency.
clients know
So
this out of the gates, by the way. You asked that. My clients understand this out of the gates. They understand that those things aren't going to be the way we're going to generate leads. But
yeah.
guess what? If the services you're offering worked, you would do
Mm.
it for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Here's what's funny is this reminds me of those. Okay, maybe everybody doesn't get these, but as a CMO, I get bombarded by fucking spam email about backlinking, paid search, lead gen, lead volume, sales volume, and
Links,
it's
yeah,
yeah,
SEO.
it's all SEO, right? It's all these agencies who are spamming some hot list somewhere
Yeah.
and trying to get CMOs like me to bite on something. Now, what happens is typically us CMOs who've been around the block at least long enough have seen 1,000 of these. They're like, I'm not calling this moron. And but some other person in the C-suite also gets some message, and then they forward it to me. Hey, I got this cold email today. Maybe we should call these guys. Do you think I'm calling every like lending service or broker or whatever, like to see if we can get some capital to do something for the CFO? No, because that's not my forte. That's not my wheelhouse. That is not my lane. You know, like, but I'm also not going to forward it to you because I know it's junk fucking email.
It's like, junk email. Yeah. And junk. And I think somebody asked me the other day, does this work? And I'm like, well, it has to work to some degree, but then you got to think about what that says about your company. And
I don't think it works. Here's the thing. I actually had this conversation with a mutual sales friend that I work with. Right.
Right.
We were talking about bulk email for some activities. And I was like, I said, maybe it's the elitist marketer in me. I hate these. I do not want to do it. I want to truly develop a customer base for us. I do not want to just cheap out and go down this route. I think it's shitty, poor man's marketing. It's stupid. It's so lazy.
It's cheap looking.
Yeah, you're going to send 50,000
image. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to send. I'm not going to send 50,000 emails out and hope you get one customer. Anyway,
and ruin your reputation while doing it. Right.
It's such a horrible idea. But anyway, I'm listening, and I'm thinking about these emails, and I'm just like, I don't want to. This is horrible, and it's easy and lazy, and that's why people do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I would rather put people in a sequence and not spam them, but feed them content. And even that is real close to this same idea. And it feels like such a cop-out. You're like, I really need to do something. Well, this isn't it. But
right.
I don't know. I'm with you on this. It surprises me that agencies do it, but I guess what I was going to say about the reason I think it doesn't work. Like, you don't get response from these things, but what you do get is the constant churn of new customers, because a customer is willing to say, hey, maybe this agency really can get me on the first page of Google. I'm willing to pay them a $2,000 a month retainer and see how it goes. They've got a 30-day out, so I can cancel at any time.
Right.
90 days in, I've paid $6,000, nothing's happened, and I'm gone.
They're gone.
And guess what? I'm going to chase the next dream that comes along in 2 or 3 months. Like, well, maybe these guys will be able to do some backlinking for me that'll drive me to the front page of Google, and I'll buy their $2,000 a month retainer for 3 months and then fire them. And now I'll be out $12,000 and Google still won't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah. You're right on the way that on the receiving side of that. I see that exactly the same way. I think the way I feel about this topic is more about shame on the agency. Shame on you for continuing to sell the services that I sold 15 to 20 years ago when digital marketing agencies first started. Shame on you for setting a client up to do 2 blog posts a week for the entire year and charge that client for that. It doesn't work anymore. Who told you that? Like, it doesn't work. Okay, so switch it up. Agency.
Yeah.
Agency owner, agency people. All right.
We really do love all of you.
Just do the services. Just do the services. Just do those 2 blog posts all year for yourself, for your own agency.
Yeah.
Do some social media posts and some SEO, and take all the profit that you have out of your agency, the $1,000 to $5,000 a month, and put it in a paid search budget. And then get back with me and you tell me how that goes. I want to know, for 90 days, you try your own services, spend your own money doing it for 90 days. You come back and tell me how it goes. You tell me that you made a lot of money. You better, because you're charging your clients for that. You're telling your clients it works, but you're not doing it. And if you do it, is it working or not? Those 2 things bother me. You're not doing what you preach, and it's not working. And so
that's go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just it gets into me, man, because I've
Yeah.
been around business owners my entire life and they are hard workers. They deserve to be told the truth. And the truth is if they want to do 2 blog posts a week, great, but don't promise them that's lead generation. Don't tell them that's one really important piece of lead gen. Don't tell them SEO is going to do something more magical than what it does when you do reach the top. Okay. It's not going to give you all the leads in the industry. Be
Yeah.
realistic, tell them what it is, and listen to what they can afford, because what they really need is sales, leads and sales. And can you support that? Can you give the sales team some material to use for their own posts on social media? Can you help them with good branding? Can you help them with good messaging? Can you help them build a really great website for them to land on? The things that matter the most, and then they need to be told to go get a good salesperson to sell. And that's what I am working a lot with agencies right now in the sales arena. I said for a long time I wasn't going to do it. I probably said it on this show, and I'm doing it because they need it. They need salespeople, and they need to take people who know how to do that, or bring them into the agency, or they need to take somebody who's really close to being a salesperson and has marketing knowledge internally and come through my course and become a salesperson for the agency. But don't take your social media manager that just has the gift of gab and think that they're a salesperson, or don't do that. Don't pull a web developer out of the back corner because he could talk websites and then think he's going to go close a website for you. That's not healthy. That's not good for them. And that's not a really smart move. You need to grasp this, practice what you preach, get sales into your agency, in your organization, learn how to do it and execute it. And then start thinking about what you're telling your clients, because if you won't do it yourself and spend the money yourself to do it for yourself, then don't tell them to do it too.
Yeah. It's funny you say this. I was thinking about, we're doing it right now. And 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it became the thing. And that was thought leadership. You got to be a thought leader in your space. This is my favorite for small businesses. You got to be a thought leader in your space, YouTube channel, social media, your blog content or your site content, video blog like this, podcast, whatever, right? Get on there and talk about your expertise. People who watch it will see how authentic you are, see that you really know what you're talking about, and they'll really understand you are a thought leader. The eyeballs will go up, the connection will go up, the SEO will increase because of it. Now, all those things are true.
All those are true.
However, all of them are true. However,
but
agencies do not do this for themselves.
That's
very, very few. And most of them are at the top of the food chain kind of people. And you're like, hey, if you wouldn't put a camera in front of the managing director or the CEO or the owner of the agency and talk about how important marketing is and what parts of marketing your agency is a part of and why do you feel like it's important? What are the nuances? Interviewing people on your team about their expertise. If you wouldn't do all that, why in the world do you think your clients are going to do it with you?
All right. Yeah. Why are you asking your clients, the owner of your
$5,000 a month, 10 grand a month, 25 grand a month to produce video for them, which is great, but and then you won't do it for yourself.
Yeah, you got to do it, client. You got to do it. It's the only way to do it. Like, it's a must. You got to do it, and then they won't do it. Yeah.
Take your own medicine.
Yeah. So
and what you're really saying is don't take your own medicine in the sense of like go out there and do it for yourself to support yourself. What you're really saying is if you really think those things are valuable for your client, then that means you think they're valuable for you. And don't talk out of both sides of your mouth.
Yeah.
If you really believe it, commit to it. Do it for yourself because you're doing it for them.
Yeah. What the agency owner and agency team learns is, oh crap, the stuff that we're doing for clients every day didn't generate us leads. And if your next thought isn't, we need to change what we're offering, you're a crook. You're a crook. You're a criminal. You're taking money out of people's hands and telling them something that isn't true.
Yeah.
At least the results aren't true. You might have seen it work one time for a client. That doesn't mean it works for every client. You better
Yeah.
get smart about it, because that's to me, this is the death of the agency. When I start working with an agency, if I look at their services and it resembles what I was doing 15 to 20 years ago, I know I got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah.
It's not,
Agree.
things have changed so much, and there's so much way smarter ways to go about working with clients and services than those pre-canned packages of any sort.
Yeah, I
Anything
tell
on
you what,
rotation, repetition.
absolutely. I get, it's in a lot of ways, I don't blame people for, preaching something to their clientele and offering services. But because the honest truth, it's confusing now what works. And the truth is, it's a very long tail for most people. And unless you've got some, consumable kind of product that you can really, really, or like home services where you have need-based things that you can really understand. But if you're in B2B, it's gnarly. It's confusing. Not everything works the same for you that it might work for somebody else. Messaging is very important. Rhythm is important. Understanding the life cycle of your customer, understanding your customer. What are their buying patterns? What are their needs? Are there needs you don't? There's so much in there to unpack. And it's really, really difficult for the client to understand that. And you're promising them something that's smoke. It's mirrors.
It's the
not
modern,
real.
It's the modern day Valpak story. Valpak worked great for years. And then after about 10 years, you couldn't get it to work at all. And then it became, well, it was only certain industries like home services that it works in. Well, then that stopped working for them. And what did they do? They kept selling the same song and dance.
Double down.
And this is the modern day version of that. It's like, the product is extinct. It's done. Change it. Don't keep doing this to people. Be innovative. Be smart. And then maybe just get under the hood a little bit and find out what your clients really need now, and do some research and find out what's troubling them right now every day. And it may have nothing. The things you're doing may not be a support in helping their business in the pain points they have today. And so there's that piece of it. I'll shut up for a second, but I got another rant. That was my first rant. I got another one.
All right, go into the second one. Let's hit
You ready? Okay.
Yeah. All right.
This is just cracks me up, man.
When people listen to their show, they're gonna be like, "These guys, all they do is get on here and talk shit and rant." But
oh my god,
it's the truth. Is it? This is what
I'm telling the truth, man. Hate me if you want to. Go ahead, try.
Hashtag the truth. Go search that. You'll just find a bunch of shit of me going, "Yep, that's wrong. You're right. That sucks."
Agents got there. But that's how we make money. We've made so much money.
They're going to be like, shut up. Don't stop talking. Don't tell people that.
If they didn't need it, they wouldn't buy it. That's not true. People have been told they need SEO forever. You can actually, guess what? You can still run a business without being ranked on page 1. Oh,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, do you have a Google My Business page? Yeah. Then you're probably okay. I mean, you're right there. Like, can people find you when they search your name? Yes. Then go talk about your name. Like, go out there and brand the shit out of it. Like,
do you know how many clients I had that I have had and have now that even saw my website? None of them. They never even got there. Through social media, YouTube, and a good old fashioned connection and talk. That was it. No website needed. They didn't go there. Shh, don't tell the web development. Don't tell them everybody's got to have a website. Don't tell them. Shh. It might go extinct in the next few years. But shh, don't say it. Don't tell them.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll get into that rabbit hole. Another topic, another day.
All right. Ready for rant number 2.
Second pet peeve. Let's go.
Here it goes. It actually is the same pet peeve. It's just a different example of it. I'm gonna ride this pony home. All right. So it's you're browsing through, LinkedIn or Facebook, and you see this ad showing up, how to get thousands of leads without using paid search. You're looking at a paid ad, and these people are telling you that you don't have to use paid search to make a lot of money and get clients and leads.
Yeah.
But they're using a paid search to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Hypocrisy.
You know, I talk to people who take these courses, they get hooked into them, and they're like, you know, it was good information. They really knew what they were talking about. It just didn't work for me. I'm like, at what point did you not understand that this was a scam? Did you not have the writing on the wall when they were using an ad to get you?
That's the whole thing is, you know, the small business owners are at such a disadvantage because they're experts in what they do. But marketing, I mean, the honest truth, we both know it. Marketing is a dark cloud that they don't want to understand. And I don't blame them because there's so much that needs to be done to be a really good marketer. And the fundamental thing for most people is they don't know anything about their customers. All they know is their customers have a need, and therefore their business grows because that they're visible as somebody that solves that need. And it's not hard for them to fall susceptible to saying, well, I heard SEO is really important, so we probably should find an SEO guy and sign them up. And $2,500 a month is a lot of money, but it's really important. And oh, they're going to build the site first, and you know, there's 10 grand, and but you know, we should commit to it. And then 6 months later, they're like, are we getting anything? What's happening? Like, I have no idea. There's no measurement. And then they hear of some other person who does SEO. And what's another agency say? Well, those guys don't know what the hell they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
Every agency points the finger at the other agency and says, these guys don't know what they're doing. Our guys are experts.
It's like asking lawyers, are you better than that other lawyer?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Who's the better doctor? Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, come on.
And unless you're, an athlete and you've proven repeatedly over a massive time period that you're the greatest of all time, guess what? Somebody else is going to look at you and say, we could do better than them. And, or we can do it cheaper, one of the two. And I've been a CMO for more than a decade now. I think I've heard that 1,000 times. I've had business leaders in my business say, we should fire them and hire them. So many times it's ridiculous. And do I ever think that there are people that I thought were good and that I liked a lot, but is there any one of them that I think is actually exceptionally better than the rest? No. There are some where I really like their process of getting there. That's interesting to me, but the end result wasn't any different. And here's the secret to all you people that are business owners out there that are listening to this and love us bashing on agencies. Your brand is the biggest search term you will have. So SEO, the most important place for it is around your own name. And it's also the easiest, by the way. So the more promotion you do, the more direct to your website traffic you get, the more organic traffic you get, and the easier the ranking is, the more important your Google My Business page is. So if you just focused on branding yourself, guess what? Your business is probably going to grow. Your marketing is probably going to do okay, regardless of whatever other stuff you do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And so, I mean, I think, our audience is dominantly agencies and marketing leaders, right? And so, I'm in their shoes now thinking like, okay, you want to rant on this, but what's the solution? Well, I think we touched on it. The solution is simple. If you're an agency, do what I asked. Try your own services out and don't do other stuff. Try your own services out. Do they work?
Special
do they not? And if they don't work, hang them up. Try something different. Offer something different. Test something different until you find out what works. My favorite agencies are the ones that found a formula that worked, was really solid, and then they turn that into a service. And that is a brilliant way to go about it because you actually have faith, you have conviction in what you're selling, and you know it works if you do it just like this and you know how to execute it. I love that. And go do it and then make promises until you can't make them anymore. I mean, I was an example of this. I sold direct mail programs for years for the Kansas City Star, right?
Right.
I did it until I couldn't do it anymore because I didn't believe in the results. We went through a time period where everybody was doing it, and the responses were dropping off so bad. It no longer had ROI to it. There was no return on
Yeah.
your investment. And that's
Right.
the thing, folks, is the return on the investment. If you isolate things out, I understand like sometimes social posting and things aren't for the sake of lead gen. I get that. I'm
Yeah.
talking about those that are promising that that is getting them leads. And guess
Yeah.
what? A portion of that contributes sometimes to a grander scheme that is getting you leads. But then you have to take a look at the whole cost of what that is offering the client and how many leads
100%.
are they getting for that system that you built. Is that giving them a bulk of leads then, or is it still trickling in? Is that the same leads they could have gotten with SEO only? That's
Yep.
the questions you need to be asking yourself.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a agency partner that utilizes CallRail, and they do SEO work, they do site work, um, they manage listings like Google My Business and other listings like that. They've put CallRail in place so that I can see, did you generate phone calls?
Right.
And if so, what was the source? What was the direction that the customer came in from? I want to make sure I can measure those things. And overall, the ROI is good, but not everybody does that. And even me, like in other businesses, I've not necessarily done that and tracked it in that way. And that's an interesting thing. It's not new by any stretch, right? I'm not telling anybody any secrets here. But then, to your point about finding something that works, I'm talking to an agency partner right now that specializes in an account based marketing, ABM, and their model is very much like, we will do paid, we will do social and content, we will do SEO and websites, and we will do CRM integration, because what they're really focused on there, they want to look at it as a process for based on account-based marketing and driving leads to sales. And I'm like, okay, these guys are selling something that's unique because they do want to touch everything, and they're willing to do a little of this because it works with this, because it talks to the right people, instead of just blanket blasting ads everywhere or email everywhere. They want to get targeted, and they're doing it in a really smart way. They're trying to understand my customers. I'm like, hey, this is great. Here's somebody who's figured out that if they can touch all the things and really be a partner, that account-based marketing and using a system that they like will work. And they're really celebrating that, and they're really leveraging it as part of their business. They're a full service agency, but they're a high level HubSpot integration partner, and they specialize in account based marketing. I'm like, that's a really good approach.
We're gonna have to talk about that, because I may know who exactly you're talking. I know the agency world. I may know exactly who you're talking about. So anyway,
yeah, it's interesting. So
so I agree with that. I think that also you need somebody who understands and has the time, has dedicated time for sales, period. You can get a list of 50, 25, 50 people that are your ideal client, their names, their email, their phone, you can find their social media accounts. You can connect with them in 5 to 10 different ways, and you can go after them as a salesperson with intent to go after them, because they're a dead on fit. They're a dead ringer, man. They're a perfect fit for you, and you know it, and they know it when you get a hold of them and talk to them. They know it because they saw your profile. Maybe they went to your website, maybe they didn't, right? And they talk to you, and if you got your story straight and right, then they know, man, you might be the perfect guy to work with. Like, you might be the perfect one to be working, and we're missing the boat. And so that's important. That's number one, agencies. If you think you're going to replace that activity with sending out 20 million emails, 10,000 text messages, hiring, year-round appointment setters. And I talk to these agencies, by the way, that spend $2,000 to $10,000, I've seen up to $20,000 a month, and they get tons of leads. And you know how many close? 1 to 3. And out of those 1 to 3, you know how many stay? You said it perfectly early on. They don't stay. because
They
you got them the wrong way. They didn't come to you, and they didn't understand that you were an expert at what you did, and they didn't come find you when they needed the thing. You went to them
Yeah.
and tried to hook them into doing your services.
Yeah, that's one of the things about marketing today is, a lot of the experts out there preach exactly what you said, which is the opposite, of sort of the blast approach. And that you educate and get in front of and you target and you do all these things the right way. And what you do along the way is you educate customers. And those customers, what I like to say all the time is they self-fulfill. They come to you. They go to your website or your phone number and they initiate contact. Because at some point along the way, you've shown them enough to say, hey, maybe these guys actually know what they're talking about. I should talk to them.
Yeah.
And or you bump into somebody and you've heard a million things and you talk to somebody and you're like, wow, that guy really seemed to know what he's talking about. Now I will go and look at their site and look at their social and read some content and say, oh, they might actually be a really good fit for us. And then initiate. And or sales recognizes or marketing recognizes that I'm doing all those things and says to sales, call that person because their score is going way up and they're doing all the right things, right? So that is more how modern marketing is working right now. Customers will tell you when they're ready.
Yes.
If you do it the other way, it's live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, we're going to get a whole bunch of leads. We're going to close some business. We're going to always be in this loop. We're going to always pay more cost per click. We're always going to be chasing. We're always going to be running after, and we're always going to be losing clients because we're not really good at what we say we are.
Yeah.
We're just trying to churn and burn. And you're like, yeah, you're not real marketers. I just hate to tell you, but that's not the way the world works.
Did I hear you confirm that sales is more important than marketing?
I said there's a great partnership opportunity there.
Oh man. Okay,
I will say this. I've come, it's been a long time since I was in sales. And when I was in sales, I sold media. So it's basically a marketing person selling marketing to another marketer. It was not the same, right? So I've come to have a much better appreciation for it because while I've created a lot of opportunity in these last few years, the best relationships we have are people that we've really developed in both sides. And we actually were looking at this the other day. Like we have a bunch of projects in my CMO life. We have a bunch of projects we're working on, and half of them are people we knew in the market. We made phone calls, we got into conversations, and half of them were people we met at events. And we just targeted really well. It's a people business.
When you try to take out the face-to-face, when you try to take that out, when you try to make it any other way, it's not nearly as effective. It just is. Sales is still needed. And there's no AI that can take that out of it. I'll say marketing is still needed. No AI can take that away. And I just think that marketing and agencies need to find their place in this world right now. And they think they need to find the services that people really need and not just try to go by what's been done in the past by other agencies. Come into your own. Find your own rhythm with your own clients and do the things that maybe don't fit under the box that marketing has built.
Yeah.
Maybe there's things that are all around that can be HR, sales. It can be, organization structure. It can be all kinds of things that that you can really help clients with. So that's my message is not just a rant. It's not just my pet peeve that really irritates me. There is solutions to this. And so do better. How's that? Do better.
Yeah, that's right. Wake up, be awesome. That's it. So
all right. Well, that's a wrap. Stuff. Yeah. Good topic. Maybe you'll have to bring your big pet peeve on the next episode.
I got quite a few.
You got to limit to one of the biggest ones. And,
yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to share and subscribe so you get all the great episodes. And we'll see you next time.